This is the Google Pixel 7 Pro camera glass replacement. Hey guys, welcome back to Earthbeat. I did the camera glass replacement on this Pixel 7 Pro and I was surprised to see that Google made something backward. The repairability of the camera glass on this device is much more difficult than the Pixel 6 Pro, the previous iteration. I added some heat resistance tape on the camera glass at the center mainly and left the edges open in order to protect the camera modules from the heat. So in that way, only the edge of the camera glass are going to get heated and I will start the removal process of the broken camera glass. I'm starting with the large camera glass. That one didn't have a proper crack, so I needed to create a crack at the bottom of the camera glass in order to start the removal of the broken piece of glass. Since they've made the camera bezel area full aluminum, it is much more difficult to not leave any scratch on that area of the camera glass. So I heated the camera glass a little bit more and I started the removal process of the broken camera glass. And as you can see, I added some more heat resistance tape right at the center of the camera modules in order to avoid any damage of heat exhaustion on the camera modules. The camera at the center is almost free of all the broken camera glass, and you can see we have some white powdery stuff. This is the result of removing the broken camera glass on this camera bezel. Also, I can feel that it is very difficult to remove the camera glass on this Pixel 7 Pro. It is simply not the same as removing the camera glass on a Samsung device or another Android device. In this Pixel 7 Pro, it is really difficult, and as you can see, Google is not using a proper double-sided tape. They are using some plastic residue that solidify with time. So after seeing that, I now remember that they use the same thing to seal the back glass on the Pixel 6 Pro. So I just poured some alcohol. This is 70% alcohol. With my green scalpel, I just put the green scalpel on the alcohol and then bring that green scalpel, the blade, and put it around the camera glass that is broken. Do not try to pour the alcohol directly on the camera glass area. You're going to have a mess. If you do it the way I just did it, you're going to insert the optimal amount of alcohol, and that alcohol is going to go right under the double-sided tape or plastic that they have put to seal this camera glass. Also, at this point, I just decided to not use heat anymore because it seems like using heat and trying to remove this broken camera glass with the type of tape or plastic that they use to seal the camera bezel is not going to work. The way it looks, I think the amount of heat that you need in order to remove this broken camera glass easily is going to damage your camera modules. Even while using the alcohol, you can see that I'm still adding some alcohol on the blade in order to help me remove the broken camera glass. It is a process that goes step by step, and you cannot damage your camera module by doing it this way. The only thing concerning is the dust created by removing the broken camera glass. You can see we have a lot of white powdery stuff around the back of the device. This is all created while I was trying to remove or breaking the camera glass, and that dust is going to sit on the camera module area, on the camera lens, and it might damage the camera module also. I also noticed that using alcohol the way that I'm using it is decreasing the amount of dust that is created while I'm removing the broken camera glass. So I decided to add some alcohol around the periscope zooming camera in order to have that one ready just slightly before I start removing that one. You can see right now, even without using heat, I'm able to remove the broken camera glass relatively easily than I was while I tried to use some heat only. You can see just right now I was trying to pull this piece of glass and it just fell on the camera glass again. This is due to the tape or the plastic that they use in order to seal this camera glass. So while removing the broken camera glass on your Pixel 7 Pro, you need to be careful not to have the broken glass fall again on the camera module area. You can see we have dust all over the broken camera glass area, and you can see also we have some dust on the camera lens of this device. The only way you're not going to have any broken glass dust on your camera modules would be to remove the screen of this Pixel 7 Pro, then remove the camera modules, then start the removal of the broken camera glass. Let's continue removing the broken camera glass on the periscope zooming camera, and after that I'm going to show you how you can clean and make sure that all this dust is cleared before we start the installation of the new camera glass. While adding the alcohol on the edge of the camera glass area, make sure that you do not add any alcohol on the camera lens. If you have alcohol on the camera lens area, it is going to be a little bit difficult to clean it. Here you can clearly see that we have dust all over the camera modules and camera lens. We only need to remove the plastic that they use to seal the periscope camera zooming lens. So right now I'm going to test the cameras, making sure that everything is in focus and all the zooming points of the cameras are working as they should be working. This is very important. You need to do this in order to avoid having any surprise after you have completed the repair of your camera glass on this Pixel 7 Pro. Next, I cleaned the back of the Pixel 7 Pro with a paper towel, and after that I grabbed the air blower in order to blow some air on all the camera lenses in order to remove all the dust that you saw earlier. So after that, you need to test all your cameras again. You need to do the same thing, test all the zooming point, making sure that the camera is in focus and you do not have any blurry problems before you move to the next step. I recommend the use of air to remove all the dust. And if your cameras are still not in focus after you have done everything with air, you can use something to wipe the camera lenses of your device. Avoid wiping the camera lenses as long as possible, because if you create some scratch on the camera lenses while trying to wipe it with the dust created by glass, you may have a problem. So the first step is to use air to remove all the dust and test the cameras. If the cameras are clear and they focus normally, and even if you have some visible dust on the camera lenses, do not try to wipe it. As long as your cameras are in focus while you're trying to take a picture or a video and you made sure that all the zooming points are perfectly in focus. This is why I think testing the cameras is very critical before you start the installation of the new camera glass. The sticky side of this camera glass is exposed. You just need to align the camera glass with the camera bezel area and make sure that it is perfectly inside the slot that the camera glass has to sit. After that, apply a little bit of pressure with your finger to make sure that the camera glass is fully seated inside the camera bezel area. As you saw it, the camera glass that I just installed did have some double-sided tape, but this is a regular double-sided tape. This is not the stuff that Google used in order to make it very difficult for a camera glass replacement. You can clearly see here that this one, it is missing some double-sided tape on the top and bottom of this camera glass. I do not understand why they have provided a camera glass with incomplete double-sided tape. Having incomplete double-sided tape is not going to yield protection for the water resistance. So while trying to get a camera glass replacement for your Pixel 7 Pro, make sure that the double-sided tape on the periscope zooming camera is complete. I did a screen replacement for this Pixel 7 Pro. Click the video on the screen to see how easy or difficult Google made it. Test all the cameras once again to make sure that everything is in focus and good before you move on. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe, like and share, and I will see you in my next video. Links in the description.